This conference will now be recorded.
As per the technical point of view, I'm asking.
Actually, your voice got broke in between. I think they have given me the presenter. So, can you please repeat?
Batch jobs and batch servers are they right?
Oh, very good question. So, see here, I will tell you. Whenever you're trying to do something on a public API, okay? Now, in Dynamics 365, you're having the public API, okay? Let's say you have integrated with a third party. Whenever you're doing this kind of things, there are two ways. One is called the synchronous way, and the second one is called the asynchronous way. Okay. So when you follow the synchronous pattern, okay, that means you're trying to hit the service all the time. Whenever you have the request, you're trying to hit the service, the AX service. So at that point, what will happen? Obviously, because if you have some big thing, the purchase order, let's assume, because if you're creating a purchase order, it should get invoiced. It means there should be ledger transactions that should be posted, and a lot of big things should happen here. And let's say you're trying to hit hundreds of transactions every minute, then what will happen? Obviously, your system will become slow. Is that right? So what you need to do? You should not impact the customer. You should not impact the customer, and the orders should get processed. So what we will do is, in this kind of cases, we will create a batch job. So if you want to run any kind of long running process, what is the best practice? You need to use batch job. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, and one more thing. For suppose we have to do the purchase orders and sales orders, and these transportation workers are there, right? I need to do in one invoice, and that invoice should be customization. How to do it? We have to do. Means just normally.
Now we are not on there. Okay, I will let you know that when we go to customizations. Okay, please remind me at that point. I'll explain you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Second here. Yeah, okay. Project is loading. Come on. Okay. In the meantime, let me open OneNote. I think we have discussed some good amount of things. Okay. Now we will come back again to the requirements gathering. Okay. Because now we know what should be developed, the bank management system, and what we have done. We have created only customer table. Okay. And then for this customer table, I hope I added some extended data types I showed you. This is well and good. Okay. Now let's come to the exact requirement. Okay. We'll note down all the things that we need to do. Okay. From that. So what does the bank has? They will perform the saving. They will have the savings accounts, current accounts, fixed accounts. And then if you belong to any one of these three, then you will have the card account. And whenever you do some, you swipe, there will be a transaction. So we need to maintain all these details. This is what is the bank requirement. Okay. Now from that, the first and important thing, the customer details. We got it. Okay. The first and I will say technical planning, or you can also call it as technical design or whatever you want. Okay. The first thing is about the customer details table. We have it. Good. Okay. Now the next one, we will create one more table called ICI savings account. Okay. So what does your savings account, what does your passbook contain here? What are the details it has? The first one is called account number. The second one, minimum balance. Third one, available balance. Is that right? Fourth one, what else? Date of account creation. And what else? What else can be there? What else can be there? I think nominee. Nominee you can. Sorry, come again.
Credit and debit side in the next page of first page.
Credit and debit, that will come under transactions. Okay. because this is the savings account table. Now account table will not have debit and credit. Account table will have details of your account. Okay, and then for which customer this account is there. So I will create one more field here called customer ID for the sake of relation between both of them. And similarly, what do we have? We will have one more thing called ICI current account, and for this current account there will be a small difference. What would be the difference? In savings account it would be customer. Okay, for current account it will be type entity. Okay, so here there are two ways again. So what people used to do is there are two ways. Okay, I think you know about the difference between savings account and current account. Savings account will be there for an individual, current account will be there for a physical entity. Okay, like a company. If you take example of a big bazaar, the big bazaar is an entity, it will have current account. If you take example of me, Kumar, I'm an individual, I will have the savings account. Okay, so this is how it works. Now coming to this current account, you can do it in two different ways. One, because the customer, I cannot use the same customer details I'm using for individual. If you want to use it for current account as well, then actually you need to define in a different way, because we have used the name, father name, date of birth, something like that. Now there whatever you need to do is father name, instead of that you need to put /director, something like that. So that would be, again, I will say don't do that. If this is the case, create a new table or try to adjust in the current account. Okay, because people will have generally this kind of scenarios. Okay, what they will try to do is they will try to adjust everything into one table. I saw this a lot of times here. Okay, but that is not going to work. I will tell you in future, once we create the tables and once we learn more details on it, I will explain you why and what is going to happen. Okay, and now coming to the current account, what I will do is I will create entity name and entity. Okay, here I will say date of entity creation, or I forgot, we'll call the data, there is one word, I forgot that word. Okay, so let me call it as date of entity created, or I can call it as entity created. Exactly, date of establishment, let me call it as date of establishment. And then third one is we will have all these details here, but there will be no customer ID. Okay, we will have all these details here, but no customer ID. Along with this, what else do we have? It's an entity, we need the address. Okay, and then we need billing number. Okay, and then we need building name. Okay, and what else do we need here? For entity, we'll have tax account number, TAN. Done. Entity will not have the gender or occupation, so there is no need of adding them. Okay, entity will have the tax account number. So people used to ask me, what is the best way to do? Do I need to add all the details in the current account table, or do I need to split it up into customer details and then like this? Okay, if it is an entity, and that depends on how much details you're going to add to your customer. If you're adding, let's say, some 10 or 12 fields to your customer, then obviously you need to create a separate table. If you're going to add only few details, let's say some 4 or 5 fields to your customer, then add it on the same table. Okay, so that depends again. Okay, and I will call this as entity ID, or you can call it as account number. This is also a unique one, so you can say account number, that will be enough. Okay, next, fourth one, we will create ICI fixed account. So coming to this ICI fixed account, again here as well, we will have the account number. And for fixed account, let's say here as well there are two options. What are those options? Now let's say if your bank is allowing to create a fixed deposits for the entity as well as for the account for the individual, then actually here you would not be able to fit it. You need to define one more field called type. That is one way. What is the second way? The second way would be you can create one more table called ICI entity details. And then what you can do here? You can take entity name, date of establishment out of here, and you can paste it here. And then you can take address, building name, TN, TAN, all of them from here, and then you can keep it here. Okay. And date of account creation will be there. Account number will not be there here. And here we are going to use something called entity ID. And you are going to map this entity ID again here. Okay. And then now fixed account. Okay, current account means entity ID, it is well and good. Customer ID, savings account, well and good. But coming to the fixed account, the possible way is you can use entity ID or the customer ID, right? You can use the entity ID or the customer ID. So whatever we need to do is, I will define the account number. First of all, let me finish the remaining fields. We need to have the fixed account number, fixed amount, and then what else? Date of account creation. What else? Maturity period. And if you want to store, you can also store maturity amount. Okay. And here I will call the ID it as cust entity ID because I want to have customer ID and entity ID in this particular field. We will see how to work with it. That will be very interesting. Okay. So we will see.
There is one case.
Yeah.
Suppose I can open the fixed account or I can open a FD without being a customer of bank. So cust entity
No.
ID would be required in that
One
case or
second.
no?
You are saying without being the customer of the bank, I
Yeah,
can
I
open
can
the
open.
fixed
Yeah,
deposit account.
there is an option in SDFC
But
Bank.
not only in HDFC, in all the banks you have it. But
Yeah,
it's not that
I should know
without
that.
the
Yes.
customer. You
Yeah.
need to provide your name, you need to provide your mobile number, you need to provide your PAN card number, you need to let them know your occupation, you need to provide your address. If you provide all these details, then only you can open fixed account.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was doubting about cust entity ID.
Because what
Yeah.
I am saying is cust entity ID means here I am not saying that savings account number should be there. I am saying customer should be there to create the fixed account. Got it?
Okay.
Customer account should be there to create the fixed deposit.
Okay.
Got it? I'm not saying savings account and current account should be there to create it.
No, I was trying to relate with ICC entity detail and fixed account F column cust entity ID.
Exactly. If there is an entity, if they have the entity as well, they can create the fixed account. So what I'm saying is, I want to use this one field. Okay. Even if it is an entity or even if it is a customer, I want to use the same field to create it. Okay. I'm coming there next. Okay. I want to explain the next. Your question will be solved within a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So see here. Now I want to use the customer and the entity, both of them here. Then what I need to do? I need to differentiate in the fixed account. First of all, I need to know whether it is for customer or entity. So what I need to do? I need to create one more field and I need to call it as customer type. And this will contain only two values. What are those? It can be either customer or it can be either entity. Okay. Now let's say if the customer has the savings account and he wants to see the details on his net banking, because for fixed deposit there should be no need of again using a new other account here. Then what you need to do? You need to map with savings account number. You need to map with current account number if they are available. Otherwise, they are optional fields. Okay, this is the first thing. Now we are done with defining the tables. And along with this, what we can do is you can define one more table called ICI card account. What is that? ICI card account. Okay, is it clear?
Contains both debit and credit card.
No, I'm asking about fixed account. You had a question, huh? Is that question clear or okay?
Yeah.
Now see here, I see a card account. So this card account, generally it can be given for savings account, current account, fixed account. Because without the savings and current account, using the fixed account, you can get the card. You can simply go into a fixed deposit of 15 or 20,000 rupees, and then they will give you the card here. So what I need to do? The first field that I need to add is card number. Okay. And then what is the second field that I need to add? The second field that I need to add should be account type. So what can be this account type? This account type can be savings. This account type can be current. This account type can be fixed. Based on that, you can map account number. Done. Next, you can define one more thing called card limit. Okay. And you can have one more thing called transaction date. And like this, you can have card number is there, so ID we can use it. So this is how we define. Similarly, you can do ICI card transactions. Okay. So here again there is one more way. I can call it as ICI transactions, and then what I can do? I can add account number, and this account number can be from savings account, current account, fixed account. I can add card number, and this card number will be for card account. Okay. If you want to do everything in the same table, but never do that. Okay, never ever do these kind of things. Okay, whenever you are working with a transaction, try to split it. And frankly speaking, I am calling it as account transactions. Okay, instead of this, you need to call it as savings account transactions, current account transactions, and then fixed account transactions. If you do that now, that would be very better. That is the best way, because transactional table will have data like anything. It will be very huge. As the size of the data increases, it will automatically slow down. The inserts and updates will take more time. If you want to make the select statement faster, the insert and update will take time. If you want to make the insert and update faster, the select will take time. Okay, because what people will think is whenever they are trying to work on the execution plans, they will only think about the selection. That is not the only criteria. You need to also think about insert and update, because in transaction table you are going to do the select, insert and update continuously. Okay, so you need to think about that. Yep.
And one more thing, can we use temporary tables or anything to improve the performance in that?
We will come there, don't worry. Okay, I will explain you when to use temporary tables. Okay. Next, ICI account transactions, and you can use something called account number here, and then I can use account type to indicate whether it is a savings, current or fixed, and then I can use transaction amount, and then I want to add ID called transaction ID, and then transaction date, time. Done. Similarly, if you want to have card transactions, one more table, you can do one thing. You can simply copy this, and then you can paste it here. Instead of calling this as account, you will call it as card account. Okay, and there is no need of having this. And one more thing, I think someone told me about credit and debit. So if you want to add it, you can do that as well here. Okay, what shall I call it? I'm thinking I can call it as transaction type, and in this transaction type, it can be either credit or it can be either debit. Okay, so for card account I'm not adding it, but for account transactions I am adding it. Got it? So this is how we define the tables, and this is how we are going to plan for the technical design. Okay, and once this is done, we will come back to the next step. The next step is, now I have a field called name. Okay, for this name there will be few properties. From that, the important property is extended data type. So what should be the extended data type for this? we need to define some EDT called ICI name, or if you want to use the existing EDT, there is an existing EDT called name. You can use it. That's up to you again. Well, let's create the new ones here. I will call it as ICI name, and the characters will be 60 for the name. The same extended data type, I'm going to use ICI name, date of birth. As I told you, it depends on again how you want to work. So I want to create one EDT here, date of birth, mobile number. I will call it as ICI mobile number. I will create one EDT for mobile number, address. Here comes the matter. Okay, because address in the sense, so what does the address contain? Address is going to contain city, state, street, country, district. Okay, and then zip code. This is one more. Okay, all these details will contain in the address here. So what is the possibility of duplication? Because in the customer details, how many times I can have these details same value? If I go to, because zip code, it will be divided per street, something like that. So what will happen? I will have minimum of, if I go to one street, the duplication possibility is depending upon that particular street, it will be in the range of 100 to 600 or something like that. And if you take the matter of India and some metro cities, it will go to tens of thousands. So obviously, if I am going for that, what will happen here? That would be wrong, no? Do you agree? That would be wrong, no? I am duplicating the data. So what we can do? Instead of duplicating the data, I can create one more table called ICI address, and then I can create city, state, street, country, district, zip code. I can create one more table, and here what I can do? I can remove all these details. I can simply have that address. Okay, I can simply have that address as the foreign key here. I will point to that ICI address, and then I will add building number, building name. Done. From this we got the address. So here what we are doing? We are saving the memory. We are saving the memory. If you want to, while working with the planning, you need to do this as well. You need to check where you can save the memory, okay, and where you cannot. Okay, and here how we will define? We will define building number. I want to define it as sometimes F103, F104. So I will define it as a ICI building number. Done. Building name. You can call it as ICI building name if you want. Like this, you can create any number of EDTs. But please remember, the first thing is you need to try to plan the existing EDTs. For example, if I want to take the city, okay, let me check if there is any EDT for city. If I go to this one, oh, application explorer is empty. Don't worry. If I close and reopen, you will automatically get it. We have one bug, okay, in this version. What will happen is once you restart the VM, I don't know, for the first time it will not load anything in the application explorer. Okay, I don't know the exact reason for that, but if you reopen the Visual Studio, it will load everything, because it will simply say user options are incorrect. Might be, I think it is expecting the some of the services to start as well. That's possible. Okay, now let me search for the city, and you can see there is a filter by type. You can select this, and then you can say extended data type. No, it's not taking my extended data type. If it has taken, it should be out now. Okay, I think it is expecting extended data types or something like that. Okay, it is expecting extended space data space types. Okay, you need to type like that, then you'll get it. Now city. Okay, actually in capacity there is a city, which is why it has given all this. Now you can see MCR city, logistics address, city record,
City
logistics
code
address, city
underscore ID
name.
is there. City code underscore ID.
Yeah, you'll be having a lot of things here. City code
City code
underscore
under.
ID. Okay, you'll be having a lot of things. And here there is one more important thing that you need to remember. If you want user to enter the city, then you need to use this, because by default in Dynamics AX we have an option called global address book. Okay, and we will have few tables which will start with this logistics, and already there will be a data in them. Already there will be data in them. If you want to get the data from here, or if you want to use the directory to get the data, then actually you can use this. You can have logistics address city name. This is one of the ADT. So what you can do is, while applying, you can simply apply this logistics address city name, and similarly for state, that's possible. The second way is you can create your own EDT. Okay, you can create your own EDT. So what you need to do is you need to simply say ICI city, because sometimes I will tell you what's the reason for this. Okay, because if you are using the logistics address city address country, all those things now, whenever you are trying to import the data, because most of the times for this address table, this is a reference, so they will try to import the data from the Excel. So when you're trying to do that, if you're using the standard extended data types, it might cause the error, because your data should meet the requirements of standard data type. Okay, in standard tables you will have the data. For example, if I take logistics address country region ID, what will happen is it will be having only three letters from the first three letters from the country name. So what will happen if I need to use IND instead of India? I need to use IND, but my customer requirement is he wants to have India. Then what will happen? He can't do that. It will always print IND in the everywhere. So if you want to use this kind of things, then you need to plan your own EDTs. Okay, if you have some specific requirement, you can plan your own EDTs like this state, and then you can define ICI street country, ICI country, ICI district, ICI zip code. This is how you'll plan. Okay, the next thing that you need to do is, if you are using the string, you need to define number of characters. I will say 50 characters. Here as well 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 I will say 50 characters. Here zip code, it will be an integer, because there will be no hyphen and anything. In India the zip code is a 6-digit value, so it will be integer. Whereas if you want to develop your system for everyone, then you need to make it string. Okay, and then size is 10 characters. Done. This is how we are going to define. I want you to define them for all of them. Next, we have something called gender here. What are the possible values of the gender? Okay, it can be male, female, other. Okay, so now for this, what we need to do? We need to create a base enum, and you can call it as ICI gender values. Okay, and then you can call it as, it will have 4 values. The first one will be none. Remember, whenever you are defining the base enum, please try to keep first value as none. Otherwise, what will happen? Whenever the user tries to create the record, it will directly show male as the first value. So please remember. Okay, and again that's up to you, because here male, female, other, one value should be selected mandatorily, so you can make it. Okay. Okay, in this case, one value should be selected at any cost. So what we need to do? We need to provide only 3 values. But in few cases, there should be one more option called none. At that time, you need to select the first value as none. Okay. And in the second step, we need to create the extended data type of type enum, and then we need to call it as ICI gender value. Remember, I am saying values in the base enum because the possibility is of having multiple values. I am saying value here because the extended data type can hold only one value for it. Either it can hold male, female, or other. Whereas base enum can hold all the three values. Okay, this is how it works. Similarly, I have the PAN card. So what I will do is I will create one generic string here. ICI generic string. Remember, actually you need to create use the existing one. That means the for PAN card as well there should be one edit as I remember. Let me check. Okay, PAN number underscore IN. If you want to use this, you can use directly that one. Okay, you can simply say PAN number underscore IN. You will get the PAN number. Done. Customer ID, you can call it as ICI customer ID. Done. So this is how we are going to create and plan the extended data types. Okay, and date of birth, this is of type date. Got it? This is how we need to plan the extended data types. Okay, and let me check. I want to see I got the string, integer, date, base enumeration, and okay, minimum balance. I will add here. I will call it as ICI amount, and then I can call it as type real. Okay, I'm taking the data type as real, and here as well there are multiple things here people used to do. Okay, here as well there are multiple things that people used to do. Okay, so what they used to do is instead of taking the I say amount, okay, I say amount, you can do one thing here. You can take something called amount MST. You can take the system EDT amount MST. Okay, MST means not Microsoft standard. Yeah, MST means monetary standard. Okay, please remember MST means monetary standard. It's an international standard for accounting currency. Okay, it's an international standard for accounting currency. So if you want to use that particular standard, then you need to use the EDT called extended data type called amount MST. And then I got this one as the type. The next thing would be maturity amount is real, customer type is enum, transaction date. Okay, transaction date time. Here comes the ICI. I am using generic date time because already I told you. Okay, I am creating a date time called generic. Wherever I will get the date time, I will use this one. This is of type date time. And transaction ID, I want to use GUID. Okay, so I will create something called ICI generic GUID. Okay, and this will be of type GUID. GUID means global unique identifier. The possibility of duplication for the global unique identifier is very, very, very low. Okay, because global unique identifier is generated, it's a 128-bit alphanumeric number. It's a 128-bit alphanumeric number. So the chance of duplication is very, very low. Okay, which is why we will use it. And we have used integer. And okay, record is the int64 value. So this address, this will be int64. Okay, because that would be a foreign key reference. We got almost all the types done. Integer, string, real, and date, date time, GOID. Yeah, we got all the types almost. Okay. So now what I want you to do. So there will be no session for tomorrow and day after tomorrow. I want you to map EDTs for all this. If possible, create them. I will ping this 1 second. Why we add transaction date in card account table? I guess issue date. What we need? That's not the card issue date. 1 second. Did I call it as a transaction date? Oh, okay, right. You're right here. It should be issue date. That should be card issue date. Okay. Let me ping these values for you. Just a second.
In the ICICI address table, is there a field name address ID kind of so that we can have a reference in ICI custody details? Because we
No,
are
no, we will
taking
do it
address
in a
in this.
different way. I'm not
Okay.
going to do like that. Okay. I will do it in a different way, which is why I have not added it. Okay. I will
Okay.
show you because I want to show you the differences. There are multiple possibilities to do the same thing. So depending upon the possibility, I will be creating it. I will show you. Okay. That will be in our next session.
No. Okay. No, I mean to ask because we are creating that table, so do we need to create that field on that address table or not? That I mean to
Not
ask.
needed
Okay.
because the foreign key relations are of different types. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you all those types. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So if you could map it now, you will learn. Yeah. Frankly speaking, you are going to learn a lot because you know how to create a extended data type. You know how to create a table. Now I will show you one more thing. I think the solution is not open up. 1 second. How to create a base enumeration. Let me show you. Okay. In the solution, you need to go to project, right click on the add button, new item, and then you can go to data types. Here you can see a base enumeration. Okay. And then you can call it as ICI gender values. And you can simply click on the add button. Okay. Now it will create a base enumeration for us. And see here, right click on the new element, go to properties, and then I will call the value as, what shall I call this? The first one would be male. Okay. And remember, this label concept, I will explain you in detail because I want to create a label file. I want to show you how to work with the labels in multiple languages. I will show you that. Just for this case, to show you how to create the base enum, I am creating a hard-coded value. But please remember, you should never give the hard-coded value to the label. That's a bad practice. Okay. As per the best practice, you need to create labels. I will show you how to create them in the next session because time will not be enough. So, and other, you can take this here and you can call it as other. And whatever you need to do is in the solution explorer, right click on the add button, new item, and you need to select EDT enum. You need to call it as ICI gender value. Click on the add button and go to properties. Here you will see something called enum type. You need to set ICI gender values. Okay. You know what is the question that I used to get? Whenever I ask some people to create this, what do you call, extended data type for the base enum, they used to ask me, why to create the extended data type for base enum? This is what the question I used to get. Because it's a enum, it has multiple values. So why, what? It's not needed. But please remember, if you are creating a extended data type, it will hold any one value out of it. Okay. If you are taking the enum values, it has all the types in it. But I want to have only female in my table. I want to hold only one value. If I need to create the EDT, there is no other possibility. You need to create the EDT of type enum. Okay. Whenever you are creating a table and fields, creating an extended data type is mandatory. Creating an extended data type is mandatory. Please remember that. Okay. This is very, very important. because I saw the people who are not going to create a extended data type for base enum, but that should not be done. Okay, you can see there are a lot of best practice errors. I will explain you about them in detail. Don't worry. I will show you how to solve them as well. Okay.
But Kumar, this base enum will in the DB, if we see, right, the base enum value will get stored like 1, 2, 3. So
Exactly.
you're saying like if we directly use the base enum, it will capture all the threes value. It will take the memory of 3 or number of values we are using in the base
Even if
enum.
you take the base enum directly to your field, it will take the field is going to take the only one. Okay. The field cannot have all the 3 at a time.
Correct.
Okay. But whenever you are trying to use it in the code, okay, then if you want to have only one value for it, then you need to define this EDT. Okay, because in case of C# or any other programming language, you can get the enum directly. Okay, whereas if you want to do that in Dynamics 365, the only way is if you want to do that assignment, you need to use the EDT itself. For base enum, we don't have a type called base enum in D365. Okay, you need to create a EDT and then you need to assign that value for this. Okay, because that's the way it's built.
Okay, means I'm a little confused here. Like, see, if I'm having some table A and I'm having some field, something called gender, right? And gender is having 3 values, male, female, and something none.
Okay,
So when I'm
let me
writing
tell
my
you.
code, mm-hmm,
In your table A, you have
mm-hmm,
field, and this field has gender. Okay,
correct.
and there is no EDT. Then as well, how many values can this field hold? This field can hold only one value at a particular point of time.
Yes.
So you will have only one value.
Yeah, correct. That is my point, right, Kumar? So you
Yeah,
were saying like,
but if you don't define an extended data type for this field, it will throw
mm-hmm,
the error saying that you have not defined the extended data type for that field. Let me show you. I think I have not defined for few of them. One second. Title, error, label, developer documentation. Okay, can you say this? This is how it will say. Field must be defined using a type.
okay. Okay, BP error, to solve the BP error, but what is my point is, just you said like it will hold the memory. Memory it will hold for all the 3 or number of
No,
enums values I'm having.
it will be okay. That's a good point. Okay, I will tell you. Okay, now let's say if I want to use the values in the code. Okay,
Mhm.
let me do one thing. Let me create a simple job. Anyways, the build is finished. Let me click on the add new item, and then one second. I want to take a code and then runnable class. Runnable class means it's a job. If you want to execute some simple piece of code, then we will use it. Okay, I will call it as ICI test enum. Click on the add button. Okay, and here I can say ICI gender values will equal to ICI gender values colon colon. I am taking male. Okay, ICI gender value val1 equal to ICI gender values colon colon female. Okay, so here what I am saying is, if you see this, oh, what is this? It is throwing, it is not doing anything. It's not in the blue color. Okay, let me do a rebuild and check. I will remove sync for the sake of easiness. rebuild. Okay, so here what I'm saying is, whenever you're trying to use in this fashion, if you are using this gender value, okay, what this will do is this will store only one value at any point of time. Okay, that is what I'm saying here. Whereas if you see this, I say gender values. Okay, I say gender values means what is the capability of this?
No, it's
It
a
has
enum. Yeah.
exactly. So I am saying whenever you're trying to use it in the code, you need to use in this fashion if you want to get only one value out of it. Okay, and not this way. Got it? This is what I meant there.
Okay, but usually how we are coding is, see, suppose some assignment happened, right? Some
Hmm.
another table, so we will directly use that field name, and then directly, I mean to say that
That is
enum
okay.
name, and that we will
If
assign
you
it.
yes, if you use the field.enum name, then it is going to hold only one value. That is
Correct.
okay. Here as well, this EDT is not being defined most of the cases. I saw that. Okay, but even for the enumerated data type as well, we need to define that. Because frankly speaking, 90% of the times we will neglect this best practice warnings. There are 41 warnings and we will neglect these 41 warnings and then we will go ahead. But that should not be done. This is what I meant. Okay?
Okay.
Because those
Fine.
are meant for a purpose. Any other queries? Okay, if there are no other questions, I will end session for everyone. See here, tomorrow there will be no session. I want you to download the VM and set up the VM here. From Monday, we are going to work only on the development. Please remember, please download the VM as soon as possible. Okay? Thanks all for the session.
Hey,
Let's meet again. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, just it's out of the context. Just I want to know, will you show this as part of this course? Will you show the applications one also? Like there's mobile applications, right?
Mobile
So,
applications, actually here,
mhm.
I can't integrate that. Okay, I got it. You want to know about the warehouse mobile app or how to develop a power app.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically, I
but
specifically warehouse I want to know.
but for warehouse,
Mhm.
if you want, I can take a separate session for you. Okay, whenever it is needed, I will spend 1 hour or 1.5 hours and then I will show you. But actually,
Yeah.
power app I cannot create because it needs the subscription.
Okay.
Okay, this is a
No,
free of cost VM. I can show you how to create because for warehouse, let me show you. There are few classes. For warehouse mobile application, we are not going to create the forms. Okay, if you go to code, there will be few classes here. It will start with WMS, warehouse management system. Okay.
Okay, not now, Kumar. Just whenever after the course or something, we can
Yeah, that
just
I
give
will.
me one. Some. Yeah,
I will do that. No worries.
sure. Thanks, Kumar.
Yeah. Next. Any other questions? Okay. Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again on Monday, same time. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.